frame rates. Take two.
When Travis and I are out training at PBS stations, one of the questions that always comes up is, what frame rate should we shoot at? You essentially have three to choose from: 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, or 60 frames per second. And then you have letters like 30i or 30p, so right off the bat, we've got some choices to make.
Historically, 24 frames per second has been the standard for cinema or film. 30 has been the broadcast television standard, and 60 has been the standard for television, sports, and live broadcasts. Don't worry about 25, that's for Europeans. P stands for progressive scan, or an entire image recorded to each subsequent frame. And interlaced is the poor man's progressive because it basically takes two half-resolution images and connects them together like combs side by side, each recording every other frame. And finally, you'll see the technical frame rates used interchangeably with rounded up numbers, like 24 is 23.98 or 30 is 29.97.
Okay, so let's get to preferences and requirements. First and foremost, every single TV station, or most TV stations, including PBS, can take whatever you shoot with and convert it to their broadcast standards. So you don't really have to worry about what's required. And these days, editing programs and normal computers can handle footage shot in just about any frame rate. So it's not really about what's technically easier either. It's really about preference.
Simply enough, we prefer 24 frames because it gives a cinematic, graceful look with some motion blur. 30 frames per second is slightly less cinematic and more like TV video that we're used to seeing. And 60 kind of looks like real life, and sometimes like low-budget video. It doesn't have that high production value look that 24p does, even though it's technically just as professional.
The only time that we use 60 frames per second or higher is when we're going for slow motion. For those kinds of shots, you want to record as many frames per second as your camera allows, so then you can slow it down.
That's it for frame rates. If you have questions, comment below or email the video dads. Thanks for watching.